I got a PRS in the mail today, although I will say that this is a very strange shaped box for a guitar. I don't think it's a guitar. This is the brand new PRS Archon 50 Classic. Have you ever woken up and you go to shave your beard and you don't realize that there's no adapter on there? You just get like a big stripe across your face, especially on the morning of a video. My wife hates when I look like this. She's like, I want to be with someone that looks like my own age. You look like you're a 12-year-old that listens to the Backstreet Boys. I apologize for my face. I've never done an amp review on this channel, but I have been absolutely harassing my friend Eric at PRS. Send me anything before it drops. It's mid-March right now, but if you're watching this, it's after April 15th. So I can't tell you how excited I am that I get to rock out with this thing for a month. We gotta open it. A box within a box. Looks very similar to the other Archon heads I've seen. Beautiful. PRS's amp designer Doug Sewell says, the Archon Classic is not a reissue of the original Archon, but a newly voiced circuit with the lead channel excelling in 70s and 80s rock tones, and a hotter clean channel able to go into breakup. This is the answer for those wanting an Archon with a hot rod vintage lead channel gain structure without changing preamp tube types and a juiced up clean channel without having to use a boost pedal. I invited my buddy Matt LaPierre, who's an absolutely virtuoso guitarist, and my friend Cory. I said, Matt, can we put this PRS Archon Classic through the ringer? Can we make her scream? Can you make her scream?
So right now we're looking at everything pretty much 12 o'clock, 12 noon, just to get a general idea. We'll keep the actual output volume a little lower here. All right, Matthew, why don't you give us a little...
Matthew.
So we got our clean channel. The volume here, which I believe, Ben, you said is the preamp gain.
Yeah, preamp gain.
Is at 12 o'clock. Treble, middle, bass, all at 12. Presence and depth, also at 12. It's a pretty nice sound.
It's
right
clean,
off the bat.
When I think of the Archon clean, I think of chimey, and that's definitely chimey.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you turn off the bright switch? I'm just curious.
Currently in the middle position too, if that means anything to anybody.
It definitely makes a big difference.
Oh yeah,
that
a
bright
little
switch
less sparkle on that.
Almost like they put a blanket over it and then So +1 for the bright switch.
Yeah, I like that.
The big difference that I can see between the Archon Classic and the current Archon, it's a new circuit that's more mid-range, but it also comes with different tubes. The previous Archon came with 6L6s. They definitely have a lot of highs and a lot of lows, good for metal, but I'm personally an EL34 guy, which by the way, you can put EL34s in the Archon, but it comes with the 6L6s. And the previous version was specifically voiced for those 6L6s. All iterations of the Archon come with ECC83 preamp tubes, 12AX7s, pretty standard fare. Now this comes with JJ Tubes 6CA7s. What's a 6CA7? The EL34 is the European version, and the 6CA7 is the North American version. Technically, they have different constructions, so they're not the same, despite being apparently interchangeable. When I go online, there's a lot of claims that the 6CA7s are more highs and lows than the EL34s, which are more mid-range. But then I went on to JJ Tube's website. They specifically say that the 6CA7s that are inside this thing are not as bright as the EL34s that they sell. What do you guys think? Now the other idea too with this is that the clean channel is supposed to have a lot more gain and breakup to it. That was one of the things I noticed about the EVH 5153 was the fact that all the channels were just kind of different gain stages of the same sound, and even on the clean, you could get breakup, even get to maybe AC/DC level. I like that. A lot of the time with high gain amps, they're one-trick ponies. You get that really awesome raging sound and then nothing else.
Let's see if we can dirty up that clean channel a little bit.
So you're gonna have to use that attenuator, but that's one downside of having the volume really controlling the gain the way that it does to get really all the sounds out of it.
We have the volume on the clean channel pinned, our preamp gain, and then the master, we're breaking it up with that attenuator, but it's a nice crunchy sound.
I think it has some compression to it, for sure.
It is pretty compressed, yeah.
But like in a good way.
Yeah.
It feels like it has a good response overall.
See if you can turn up the master, man, and see how shreddy that gets.
It's got a lot of spank to it.
This is still with the EQ all at 12 o'clock. Let's see if we add a little treble. So the treble has a huge effect on the sound.
So it's not like a Marshall, the EQ actually does stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Listen to that. If you want to
If I put on that-
break some windows.
And that's just on the clean channel, yeah?
Yeah, this is still just a clean channel. So
That's
let's
not
listen.
bad.
Let's listen to that middle band. It's a little more subtle in the mids. Scoop. Yeah, so the mid band is a little more subtle, but it sounds nice. And the bass.
Oh, yeah.
All the way down. $12. It adds a lot of body. You definitely want to dial it in. The EQ is pretty effective.
It's not ice picky either, which is nice.
Right. So then if we come on over here to the presence.
I dig it.
This amp was designed by Doug Sewell, and the story goes that at the Dallas Guitar Show, Paul Reed Smith was set up next to Sewell because he had heard that don't really need to bring any extra amps because this guy's got good stuff. Paul goes over, plugs into Doug's amps, and is absolutely blown away. Paul literally said, I will take everything that you have. He loved it so much, he convinced Doug to move from Texas to Maryland to be the guy that has helped build the PRS legacy as far as amps are concerned. So if you see a PRS amp, that's Doug Sewell. I ran into Paul Reed Smith about 15 years ago at a Guitar Center. Well, when I say ran into, more of like stalked him a little bit, but I wanted to meet Paul. So of course I come into the store, I go see my buddy Ben who's fixing my guitars. Paul's standing right there and he looks at me, he goes, what are those? So that's a Les Paul and that's a Strat. He goes, no PRS? I'm like, oh, I got 25 back at home. They just don't ever need to be fixed. We start talking a bit. Paul looks at me and he goes, you're a guitar store rat, aren't you? And I'm like, what? Let me guess, your first job was working in a guitar store, whether it was like stringing things, cleaning things, just so you could be around it. Truth be told, my mom made me go down to Worcester City Hall so that I could get a worker's permit so I could go work at Gordon's Music when I was 14 years old, or maybe the day I turned 15. And my mom every single time would go to Mark, the owner, "You need to hire my son, Ben. Ben is gonna be he'll sell guitars." Paul nailed it, a guitar rat. He says, "Ben, can I show you something?" "Yeah, man, show me whatever you want." I have this prototype amp that I'm working on. Would you mind plugging into it and letting me know what you think? So I sit down, I plug in. What's the first thing I do? Turn it on, and I absolutely pin the gain. Paul looks at me and goes, "Whoa, you just pinned the gain." I said, "Yeah, Paul, I play rock and I play metal. You don't want to see what it sounds like down here, like 4 or 5 first?" I'm like, "No, I want to see what it sounds like at 11. Paul, you're going to get a lot of guys like me, and the first thing they're gonna do, turn that gain up all the way." I don't want to take any credit for something like the Archon, fire-breathing dragon of PRS amps. But I could see that glimmer in Paul's eye when I was just like, "Yeah, dude, a lot of people pin their gain." It's kind of like Wayne's World when they're like, "Hey man, my girlfriend's back there," to Christopher Walken, backstage at Aerosmith. And he's like, "A lot of people's girlfriends are back here." We want to go to distortion?
Let's do it.
I can do that.
Switching to the lead channel here. Let's try to dial in the EQ here a little bit. So our treble, which was very effective on the clean channel. Let's check it out. Oh yeah. Mid-range. And then a bass.
There's a...
So yeah, same thing. The EQ is really great on this amp. It shapes the sound really well.
So I want to say thanks to both my friends Matt LaPierre and Cory Paza for coming down. As you can see, I've been playing it for a solid month. It's awesome. It absolutely competes with boutique amplifiers you'll pay 3 or 4 times as much for. It's an example of an amp that you could pretty much go like this and adjust the knobs to anything, and you're gonna get an awesome sound. The thing I will say is this is not a bedroom amplifier. It does not have an attenuator on it. I think that would be kind of cool for those people in a home studio that want to really rock this thing. The biggest thing I would love to see on a future iteration of this amp would be just a boost button going from that chimey clean to like that overdriven sound with just one little click. Very useful. This could almost act like a 3-channel amp. But for $1150, I'm genuinely nitpicking. I can only surmise that this is going to become a staple for many people's studios. Thank you, Paul Reed Smith. You did it again with the Archon. I got a wife upstairs. I'm going to beg to let me back up now that I got this beard. This thing's too loud. That's all I got. Why don't you smash that subscribe button already?